Hey there, comic book fans. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and today I'm headed down to Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland, but not for another new comic book day. No, today is going to be the biggest sale of the year that Third Eye Comics has at their main location in, as I said, in Annapolis, Maryland. And it's a giant tent sale. They call it a throwdown, and they've got these giant tents set up in the parking lot right outside their main door, and they've got thousands and thousands of comic books. They've got hundreds and hundreds of Funkos, manga, graphic novels. There's a ton of stuff down there. And luckily, we've just passed the weather. The last couple of days, we've had some of the horrible rain and tornado watches that we've had from the big storm that just came up from the south. But this Saturday morning, it is absolutely gorgeous out here. It's not too hot, not too humid. So looking forward to going down here and digging through some of these boxes and see what I can find. Now, I don't have a lot of time today because this is still a work day for me for Amazon. But luckily for me, I belong to a very elite club with Third Eye Comics called the Wednesday Warrior Elite. And this club has some benefits. And one of those things is in some of these events, that's a timed event, I can get in a half hour early. So while this thing starts at 11 o'clock today, I actually get to go in along with any other elite member at 10:30. Get a little jump start on the massive crowd that I sort of expect to be down here today. So stay tuned. I will come back and I'll show off everything that I pick up, but I cannot promise how much I'm actually going to film today just because I do have a limited amount of time. So you know, I'll be in there diving for good deals and everything, but we'll see what I can do. Anyway, I will be right back. Stay tuned. All right, guys, I just finished up at Third Eye Comics here in Annapolis, Maryland at their big Showdown tent sale. This is their biggest sale of the year. They have those two giant tents out there, and thank goodness that they let the Wednesday Warrior Elite crowd go in early because that half hour was crucial because there wasn't that many people inside the two tents. But 11 o'clock rolls around and they opened it up to the general public, and there must have been another 150 people poured into those tents, and you couldn't move at that point. You couldn't get into the dollar bin boxes. You could barely move. And you can see that from some of the footage that I shot, and I hope you enjoyed that. But it got super hot inside. I was sweating, and I didn't feel good. And I cut it short, went ahead and checked out with the few things that I did pick up, and went back in just to film some of that footage that you just saw. And that's it. I cut it short. It's going to be fun, though. I did see Long Box Love Affair in there diving for dollar bin books. He's always really good about finding some hidden gems in there, and it'll be fun to watch his video and see what he picked up. I had to give up on it because I decided, instead of just going straight to work from this sale, that I'm actually going to go home, drop everything off, and I'm going to take a shower because I don't want to have to spend the whole day at work feeling the way I do after that sale. It was grimy, it was sweaty. When you come back outside and it was already over 90 degrees outside in the sun, probably closer to 95, it actually felt cool. It was so nice to go outside at that point. So let me get home. I'm going to change. I'm going to go to work, and then in the day or two, I'm going to film everything. For you, it will be a few moments. For me, it'll probably be a couple of days before I film all of this and actually feel better about being able to sit down and do this, because I feel like crap right now. So guys, stay tuned. For you, again, it will just be a few moments. For me, it'll be a couple of days. I will see you in a moment, so stay tuned.
Many unbearable hours later.
All right, everybody, I made it back home, took a nice cool shower, ended up going to work, and felt better the rest of the day. I tell you, it was so hot in that tent. I wish I could have spent more time there, but I did manage to pick up a few things before I left. So let's just get into the things that I picked up, and we'll go over everything. So the first thing I picked up was from the $5 variant box, and I picked this up right here. Let me show it to you. It is Infinity Ink number 32. This is a Todd McFarlane artwork issue right here. It is actually, Third Eye tells me Green Fury becomes the Green Flame. In fact, I looked this up on Go Collect. It doesn't even mention that, but I already knew to pick this book up because I had just picked this up in the last show where I went to, the last comic book show, which was a $1 show. Everything there was $1, and I picked this book up for $1. I probably overspent. I spent $5 on this, but I know that this is a really good CGC 9.8 candidate, and 9.8s on this, most recently, back in 2021, went for $140. Now, that was the bubble, so who knows what this really is, but what I found at that $1 show was that a bunch of these Infinity Ink issues like this, with Todd McFarlane art, actually do really good as CGC candidates, for if they are 9.8s, of course. But I went ahead and picked this up, and then I picked up from the same $5 variant bin. It's not a variant, but it is the first issue of Night Thrasher #1. This is For Control, and you got this great Mark Bagley cover right there. And honestly, at this point when I picked this book up, it had already started to get really hot in there, and I just wasn't finding the things. The things weren't jumping out at me like I kind of expected a few things too. I wasn't going to go in there and just buy. I was trying to be a little selective, and maybe this was the wrong avenue, the wrong venue to do that kind of thing, because once that crowd poured in there, then there was no chance to take your time and go through the books, really. You just had to go through quickly. And thank goodness I had that half hour before the general public came in. But at that point, I knew I just wasn't going to find the things I really wanted and have the time to really find the things I really wanted. But picked up a copy of this. I took a flyer on this. I know I have this in my PC, but I figured let's take a chance, see if this is a pretty good 9.8 CGC candidate. It's about a $70 value if you can get that 9.8. That actually just got sold here about a month ago. All right, next up was a book that I always pick up. Usually I would try to pick them up for dollar sales, but I did pick up another copy of Darker Image #1 right here. This is from March of 1993, and you've got the big creators, Sam Keefe, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld. There's other people involved in this as well. It is also, thank you, Third Eye, for putting your sticker on here, the first appearance of Blood Wolf. Now, I don't know if that's for a fact or not. In fact, when I looked it up, again, on Go Collect, when I was looking up that 9.8 value, most of the time they will put if it's a key book or not, and they had nothing listed. Now, that doesn't mean that this isn't a key or a minor key or anything like that. It's just that Go Collect didn't bother to put that as part of their information, and they often do that. But first appearance, 9.8, maybe a $65 value. That only happened about a month ago. So not bad it's a $5 book, which really should have meant for $1. To be honest, I've picked this up at dollar bins before, but maybe I was getting a little desperate to try to pick up a few things that I knew would have some value if you could get them graded. Now, I did pick this up. This is issue number 17 of Superman. It is the second appearance of the Silver Banshee, and this one actually has some surprising value. Another one of those great John Byrne books right here. What a great run. I love John Byrne's artwork during this whole series when he took over and revitalized Superman. 9.8s on this, yes, only went for $118 back in 2023. It was the last one I got sold towards the end of the year, but not more than a month before that, it actually went for $250. So this book actually has some value as a 9.8. So that might be a nice little hidden gem. Again, this was in the $5 variant bin, although this is not a variant. They did put some of their other regular books like this in there. All right, so I got to the dollar bins, and at this point, honestly, I knew I wasn't feeling well. I knew I wasn't going to have the time to go through every box. There's just no way. And especially, as I said, after that crowd poured in there and I started feeling really bad, I did spend a little bit more time trying to get into a few more boxes. And I realized I'm not going to do this the way I would have liked to, like I did with that dollar comic book show. That one, I took my time. I had all day to spend during this show, during this sale. It was a Saturday, and I had to get to work later that day. And after I was feeling that bad, I knew I wanted to go home and take that shower, cool down, relax a little bit. But I did spend a few more minutes going through the bins before I decided to hit the eject button and get out of there. But I did find this. I thought this was interesting. For $1, Car 54, issue number 4. This is from 1963. It's in pretty decent shape, actually. But I didn't really worry about that. But I thought it was kind of cool to pick up a pretty old book like that for $1. And it did seem in decent shape, in that 5.50 to 6.0 kind of range. And this was actually a little surprising. I did find a sale for a 6.5 for $119. If this actually grades out a little bit better, you can actually do really good on this. But that's not a bad return for $1 if you actually get this graded and get that 6.5. So I'm going to check this book out and see if it's actually going to be a candidate for grading. We'll see. But for $1, I can't pass that up. And then the very last thing that I did find was a really good box. And I guess what I was doing was I was looking for the books that were actually in bags and boards. And they had plenty of boxes where it was raw comics. And I hate digging through those kind of boxes because every time you touch a raw comic, you're going to damage it, pretty much, if you're not really careful. And this kind of sale, people were going through those boxes like crazy. But under the table, they had boxes as well. And I got down into a corner where they had this box, and at the back of the box they had a big, thick row of comics, and they turned out to all be basically 1 or 2 issues, but they were all in the Mylar bags. And I'm going, well, that's kind of interesting. And this is what I picked up. They had issue number 1 from Peach Momoko. This is Demon Days, the X-Men, and this is a David Mack variant. And at the time when I picked this up, I'm going, I don't remember seeing this cover. I actually have a signed Demon Days X-Men number 1, the regular Peach Momoko cover, signed from her signing at CGC last year that I've got. But I've never seen this cover. Immediately you recognize this. This is a David Mack piece of artwork. You recognize his artwork without even looking it up. And it turns out it's from Black Cape Comics, and it's a limited edition, or a ratio, or a store variant, I guess is what it really is. And this is the trade dress. I'm like, okay, well, I'll pick that up. But right there in the bin, not only were there trade dress copies, they had the Virgin copy as well. And I'm going, okay, that's pretty cool. It's David Mack, it's Psylocke. Man, I got to pick this up. So I ended up picking up 3 copies of that. And this actually, CGC 9.8s on this, on either one of them. On the trade dress, maybe $65. Last sale I saw on the Virgin 9.8 was only $53. I'm going, okay, well, I'm not going to send it in for that. But 9.8 Virgin, signed by David Mack. actually went for, it was the best offer. It was $225, but it was the best offer. So you don't know what they really sold that for. But I can't imagine it going below maybe $150. And I'm going, okay, well, I got 3 copies here. And the next time I see David Mack, maybe I get these signed and send them in the CGC. We'll see about that. But that was it for the comics that I picked up. And I just didn't have the time to go through it. I didn't have the time to go through the graphic novels. They had those at 50% off. And again, just feeling awful. But when I realized that I wasn't going to be able to go through the comics the way I wanted to, I did pick up one toy, though. Let me get that. And this is actually something I've wanted. Now I just need to get one more to go with it. I picked up the Werewolf by Night werewolf. So it's black and white, just like the TV show before they did the colorized version. I do want to pick up the Man-Thing version as well. I think that's pretty cool. It's a bigger Funko. I saw somebody at a show pick up one of those one time, and I don't know. That's one of those things. Now that I've got this, I may have to pick up the Jack Russell, and I'm sure they have an Elsa Bloodstone in black and white too. I bet the farm on that. But I definitely want to pick up that Man-Thing one. But I thought this was pretty cool. That is really neat. In fact, my commentary about the Werewolf by Night special is, since Endgame, up until we had the Wolverine Deadpool movie, Werewolf by Night was by far the best thing Marvel did in that whole time. And I'd put it over the X-Men animated series as well. I absolutely love that special. I have watched that thing so many times, and I've enjoyed it in the colorized version as well. It has made the list of what we watch on Halloween night now. Well, I'm sorry, not Halloween night, but leading up to Halloween when we do our pumpkin carvings, my daughter and I. And so that's pretty high praise for that to break into our pumpkin carving time. So anyway, Funko, loved it. I was kind of hoping that I could find a Tua Tagovailoa Funko with the Miami Dolphins for sale. I mean, these Funkos were $5 a piece. And I know that Third Eye had it at one time, and I never picked it up, but the Dolphins are my team, and, I still back. And I literally said, but in this case, I back Tua. He's my quarterback, so we're going to go with him. And I kind of wanted that Funko, but I did not find that there today. So I'm in line. I'm getting ready to get out of there, and the line is really long. It's the length of a single tent, and this was a 2-tent sale. And so it took a while to get up there to check out. And in the middle, and you saw maybe some of this in the footage, in the middle towards the checkout area, they actually had mystery boxes, mystery packs of comics, and they had mystery boxes. And I've never done a mystery box. I see channels do mystery boxes all the time, and I'm going, well, I kind of want to do something. I know I'm going to have a limited amount to show off at this sale. Why don't we do a mystery box? We've got Third Eye Fun Box. It's a $25, 25 comics, 1 graphic novel, 2 comic variants, and 1 Funko Pop. And as you can see, it's just a big box. I don't know what's in here. So let's open it up and find out. It's my first mystery box, guys. I wonder if this is going to be a waste of time, or did we actually hit something good? I mean, they had a whole box, a whole table of these, and they were slightly different sizes. I don't think that made any difference. I think they were just using whatever boxes they could find. But I've waited. It's been a couple days now since the sale. I'm actually down in West Virginia. I took everything with me so I could do the show while I was down here. And I have not opened this yet. So let's see what we've got. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. So I guess the graphic novel is this. Everything is Teeth. I have no idea what this is. It looks like a kid's book, but I see lots of sharks in here, though. So have no idea what that is. Ooh, the two variants are Dark Knights of Steel #1. This is a Reynolds team variant. This is it doesn't say what ratio it is. And how I'm not surprised to see this. This is, because I think it's a Third Eye exclusive as well. It is Commanders in Crisis. And I've gotten this before from Third Eye as a free. They've pushed this book, seems like a couple years ago, really big. But I saw a lot of these in the variant boxes they're trying to get rid of. So not surprised on that one at all, to be honest with you. Let's see what else we got in here. Ooh. That's neat. We got a Naruto Pez dispenser. That's pretty cool. I used to watch Naruto on Cartoon Network every Saturday. Saturdays when my daughter was growing up was really cool because on Cartoon Network it was a big animated superhero anime for 2 to 3 hours, 4 hours. It was 8 o'clock until we got to 11 o'clock, and it was an Adult Swim after that. But we got to watch usually the DC Comics movie was usually the 8 o'clock one. I know there was a Wonder Woman and a Green Lantern movie we watched one time. I think we even watched the Doctor Strange animated film one time. Those are the only three I kind of remember. But after that, we had Naruto, and then I think One Piece came on at 10 o'clock. So that's pretty cool right there. And, there's my Funko. Ooh, that's kind of neat. I've got the Wizard Deadpool right there. That's pretty cool. Kind of appropriate since the Deadpool movie with Wolverine is out right now. I don't think this is one of the variants that showed up in the final battle scene. And I'm sorry if that was a spoiler, but guys, if you're going to see the movie, you've already seen the movie. In fact, a lot of you have probably already seen it multiple times at this point. All right, let's see what else we got. Well, we got Christmas paper. And we've got comic books that are not bagged and boarded. So that's not cool. These boxes are kind of falling around, so you kind of expected the either be packed well or you expected the comics to be bagged and boarded. But let's just see what we've got. All right, we've got from Bad Idea, Escape from Wyoming #2. From Image Comics, #1, In Hell We Fight. We've got from Massive Comics, Hellacious, #1. Doing pretty good. I haven't heard of any of these. We've got issue #2 from Boom Studios, Horror. How do you say that? From Dark Horse Comics, we have Assassin's Apprentice. This is #6, it looks like. And issue 5. Oh, we got some Marvel here. Alex Ross cover, issue #9 of Black Panther. Judging by the art, my guess is Claw enters the frame because that looks like some of his sound creations. Oh, we have #10, another great Alex Ross cover right there. We have issue #1 from Scout Comics of The Wicked Ones. And issue #5 of that same series. Issue #5 from Image Comics of Star Signs. Well, I don't know hardly any of these books. Be interesting to see if anything has any real value. #2 issue from Scout Comics, Mom Breaks the Internet. From Dark Horse, issue #1 of Miss Truesdale. And then, what is this? From Behemoth, Until My Knuckles Bleed, issue #3. From IDW, number 1, Star Trek, Day of Blood. Here we have a number 1 from Marvel. I'm not sure if this is a variant or it was a new series. It is Captain Marvel number 1 right there. This looks pretty new. It's too my studio is too dark right now. I can't look up how old when this actually came out. This looks pretty new. Also from Marvel, Bloodline, Daughter of Blade. I think that's pretty good, right? Oh, it's a second printing number 1. Although second printings have become very favorable if the print number is low. So issue number 1 of that. My understanding is the new Blade film was supposed to, well, it got derailed a lot because they were going to focus on Blade's daughter instead of Blade himself. And nobody cares. This is the first time I've actually picked up a book that has Bloodline in it. And I don't care. I want to see Wesley Snipes back. I would have loved to see the new actor play Blade, but they were trying to derail it, just like with some of this woke feminism stuff going on that has derailed She-Hulk, which was just an atrocious abomination of every character on that show, except maybe Daredevil a little bit. Captain Marvel, the way that movie and both movies have come across, how the actress Brie Larson projects herself and just, yeah, I'm going on a rant that I probably shouldn't even go on this channel. That's what they were going to do with the Blade movie. They were going to focus on her daughter rather than focus on Blade himself. Let's see. We have issue number 2 of the regular cover of Bloodline. And we've got Grimm Fairy Tales, the 2023 Holiday Pinup Special. And if y'all know anything about Grimm Fairy Tales books, the pinups are going to be just like that right there. And then we have Tim Drake Robin number 1. From IDW, Breath of Shadows. This is from Marvel. This is X-Men number 5. And Dugan was writing this, and Dugan just appeared at Third Eye Comics on a Friday night that I couldn't attend for one of his signings. But I don't know if I really wanted to. I've not enjoyed anything he's really done at Marvel. But I couldn't go to that signing. It's one of the first signings that I haven't been able to go to at Third Eye in probably the last year. Because most of the signings are going to be on Saturday mornings. But this signing was a Friday night, and Friday night's right in the middle of my shift, so couldn't go. But X-Men number 5. From Xenoscope, True Horror Mysteries, The Babysitter Killer. And this might just be a single issue. I don't see an issue number on there. From DC, we have Steelworks number 4. It's sad, even at this point. I still look at Steel, and I think Shaq. Of course, he did that movie, so I can't get away from that. Then we have X-Men Legends number 2 variant edition from Jim Rugg. Oh, I'm going to keep on hold of that because he shows up at Heroes Con, and when I couldn't go this year, I didn't get the couple books that I had for him to sign. I didn't get them signed, so I'll add this to the to get autographed pile at some point to get Jim Rugg to sign that. And then we've got issue number 1 from the latest Thunderbolts series. You've got Terry Dodson. I don't even have to look this up. This is Terry Dodson. Terry Dodson and Rachel Dodson artwork right here. And I got to say, I like a lot of Terry Dodson work, but this Thunderbolts series, these covers, I really didn't like them. There's something odd going on with, maybe it's the inking or something, but the shading, there's something I don't really like about them. Maybe it's just a little too heavy with the blacks, I guess. But Anyway, guys, that's it. I don't know if that was worth $25. I don't think there's anything in there I would really want for my PC, but we will look up and see if there's any value. And if you're watching this, if there was any value whatsoever, I will put it on the screen as a little text. This was actually worth X amount as a 9.8. We're going to go with the CGC 9.8 grading model again on this. If there's anything worth getting graded, I'll look everything up. But if you see no text at all, that meant that nothing was worth getting graded, and maybe it may be worth $1. Who knows? Maybe a lot of these books might end up in the giveaway for Halloween, like I've been saving up some other books for. We'll see. But guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Trust me, I'm feeling so much better now that I got away from that tent and how hot it was. So I'm okay. We will continue with the show. Don't worry. But if you like this kind of content, definitely hit that like button, slap the subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any of the shows I put out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. All right, guys, I'm getting out of here. Y'all take care. I will see you for the next episode. Just remember, every comic has a story.